Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Ari Talks About Music. I'm Ari, and today it is finally time for a review of this new album from The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Hurry Up Tomorrow is the sixth album by The Weeknd and the third and final installment of his current trilogy, starting with After Hours in 2020, continuing on with Dawn FM in 2022, and now, of course, Hurry Up Tomorrow in 2025. Like its two predecessors, this album features the classic Weeknd R&B sound, with more electronic and synthpop-leaning influences on many of the tracks. And of course, it's quite a theatric concept album, with themes of wanting the day to finish and wanting the future to come. And of course, that can be seen in the very title, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is just asking for the next day to finally come. The album opens with the track Wake Me Up, which is just a really good classic-sounding Weeknd song that opens the album quite well. This track also features Justice as a featuring artist, with their contributions to the track also sounding great. Cry For Me has a really nice trap beat and just some really nice synth-pop leaning influences on the track, which then leads me to the song Sao Paulo, which an issue I have with the song is that for a track so early on in the album, it really feels like it's going into nightclub territory way too soon, and would sound much better towards the end of the album in my opinion. Anita's verses on this track sound very out of place and monotonous, and they really just don't really go anywhere or do anything all that interesting for the entire song. And just in general, this song really feels like it lacks a lot of structure and a lot of coherence and just is very messy. Although luckily the following track just after the interlude, Baptized in Fear, is just a nice chill song to kind of relax and take a breather after the intensity and the messiness of Sao Paulo. The transition into the next track, Open Hearts, sounds really good, and the song does feature some great vocals and really nice progressions leading into this amazing chorus with these trance-like soundscapes that are absolutely worth the build-up, and they honestly make this quite possibly my favourite song on this album. Reflections Laughing is a perfectly okay and decent song, however just feels like it has very little to offer that another song can't just do a lot better, and is overall just a very underwhelming track that really feels like it bloats the album a little bit, with the following track Enjoy the Show being much the same. However, after that, Give Up On Me definitely ends the streak of dud songs, opening with this really nice and very well used sample of Nina Simone's Wild Is the Wind, before then just going into this absolutely beautiful, very synth-pop adjacent song. This track also has some great vocals and some really interesting instrumentations, along with other really well used samples. Timeless does take a while to really pick things up, however, I love the outro on this song, with the very ethereal sounding synths which just sound really good with the vocals. Taking Me Back to LA is a small reference to the track Escape from LA on After Hours, and it really feels like the story has come full circle with these two tracks having opposing titles. And while outside of the titles being so similar, there really is very little that connects these two tracks. But Take Me Back to LA is still just a really nice kind of synthy R&B song that just sounds great on this album. The following run of tracks with Big Sleep, Give Me Mercy, Drive, and The Abyss are all perfectly decent songs. However, compared to most of the other tracks on this album are just really not all that interesting, and for so many songs in a row, they really just leave me with very little to say about them. Red Terror has this really nice, suspenseful build, with these really nice vocals and this very atmospheric and very captivating outro to the song. Without a Warning definitely feels like there's quite a darkness to it, which gives this track a very moody kind of feel to it throughout the song. And then finally, the closing track, being the title track Hurry Up Tomorrow, just closes the album in a really good way, with this really nice sense of finality to it. And also the piano on this track sounds really good, with it being refreshing to have some slightly more organic instrumentation after a very synth-heavy album. On the whole, while this album does have lots of great songs and great moments, it is very bloated and, in my opinion, quite disappointing. It could be argued that it's my fault for being disappointed by this album by setting my expectations very high, but given how much I've loved The Weeknd's previous few albums, you can't really blame me for having such high expectations for this one. This album does feel very bloated, coming in at nearly an hour and a half long, when it really just shouldn't be anywhere near that length. And I really feel like that in order for an album to truly justify needing to be over an hour long, there needs to be something really special and really epic about it that makes it necessary for it to be that length. And I think that this album just doesn't really quite manage that, and just feels like a very standard but perfectly decent synth and R&B album that could have just been 40 or 50 minutes. And so with all of that being said, this one gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Thank you so much for watching this review. Be sure to listen to this album yourself and tell me your thoughts below. Please leave a like if you liked the video, and please leave a dislike if you didn't like the video, and remember to stay hydrated.